About 10 years ago, a very prominent futurist, a lady named Edith Weiner, coined a phrase that is resonating in our culture today. It's a word, it's a simple word, it conveys so much, and it's so perfect for what's happening in our culture today. That word is emotile. Let me say it again, E-M-O-T-I-L-E, emotile. It's one of those fusion words, kind of like when GE came up with eco-imagination 5, 6, 7 years ago, pulling together two disparate ideas that didn't seem to have anything in common, but now all of a sudden they come together and they intuitively describe what is happening in our business culture today. And that's what Edith Weiner did 10 years ago. We're seeing it come together today. We're seeing people that are using portable computing tools. They're looking at iPads and iPods and smartphones. Penetration of these portable computing tools is changing the landscape of business as we know it. Now, of course, that impacts all brand managers. It impacts the contact centers that they're relying upon to acquire new customers as well as retain those customers, serve those customers, form some kind of a relationship with those customers so there is brand loyalty. Remember, that's the end game, right? Brand loyalty. If you can keep a customer and upsell, cross-sell, wow, that's where it's really at as we come out of this post-recessionary malaise. Right now is the time to upsell and deepen your relationship with your existing customers so they don't drift away, and then you can actually begin to raise the top line, begin to innovate, launch new products and services, increase your sales revenues, and so on. It all begins with a new understanding of what's really going on out there. In 2008, everything changed. In the last 3, 4, 5 years, it's continued to change. So we're in a turbulent era. In fact, I'm going to return to this book, which features a quote from the former chairman of General Electric. I mentioned him earlier, Jack Welch. Many of you know of Jack Welch. Boy, the quote I'm going to give you right now perfectly describes the transition period we're in as we go into this emotile era. Jack Welch said back in 1998, he said, "If you're not confused, you don't know what's going on." If you're not confused, you don't know what's going on, and that's exactly how people are today, trying to figure out how do we surround our customer with all these new channels. We've got voice interaction, obviously, but now we also have chat. Now there's texting and instant messaging and emailing. And then what about social media? It's a huge influence because the emotile customer is utilizing Facebook and LinkedIn to find out what kind of a product or service should I buy? Is this company good? Should I work with them or not? And so there's this endless cycle of research and word of mouth. It's anecdotal or some of it's statistical, but then that moment of intention comes, and the emotile customer's walking down the street, they've got their smartphone, they're doing something, they're going into a meeting, and all of a sudden a catalyst, something happens, context changes, they get out of the car, somebody says something, and bam, boom, 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 and the transaction has begun. The transaction has begun, and your brand is on the line. Now, your frontline agent at that point has to be able to field the call, confirm it, text, chat, build some kind of a relationship so that that end user, who can easily switch away from your brand just like that, says, you know what, I know somebody there at that contact center, that company's good, she knows me, she sent me something, I can always call her if I need technical support or want to buy a related product or service. So I'm going to stay with those guys. I love those guys, right? So then the customer becomes a zealot, becomes a missionary for you, all right? And now we go beyond customer satisfaction. We now are talking about customer engagement. Engagement is the key. As you all know, there's that emotional component where your customer says, you know, these guys are on top of it. They always let me know. They trigger. They let me know what's happening when I'm in the area. And I'm always on top of their latest product offerings, their upgrades, and so on. They know me. I love them. That's the emotile customer. Many of us are just not ready. That's why this particular book right here, Corporate Kinetics, which was written in 1998, is also indicative of where we're at today. Today's company has to be adaptive, self-renewing, and instant action. I'm Lynn Hinterrocker with Epic Connections. We can help you find the contact center that can respond to this phenomena and lock in your next new customer. Thanks very much.